My name is Obinna, and I came back home after 25 long years abroad. I left Nigeria when I was just 20, full of dreams and promises. People said, Obinna don't go Italy, he go come back with car and dollars. But life abroad no be film. Those years were not easy. I suffered, senior man, no papers, no steady job. Sometimes I slept in cold rooms with 6 other men. Sometimes I washed plates from morning till night just to earn small money. But every month, no matter how hard things were, I sent something home for my mother. I sent money and sometimes small gifts, wrappers, perfumes, and even her favorite slippers. I also wrote letters, long letters filled with love, telling her to be strong and pray for me. But she never replied. Not once. I told myself maybe she didn't know how to write back, or maybe the letters got lost. Sometimes when I tried to call, nobody picked. When I managed to talk to my younger brother, Ken, he would say, Mama is fine. She's just sleeping. Don't worry. Years passed like that. My heart always longed for home, but I kept saying, next year I'll go. Before I knew it, 25 years had passed. Then one morning, I got a message from a family friend. Just 4 words. Mama don die, Obinna. Everything inside me went cold. My chest felt empty. For days I couldn't eat. I cried in my small room like a child. The woman I suffered for, the one I promised to make proud, she was gone. I sold what I could and booked a flight home. As the plane landed in Lagos, my hands were shaking. It wasn't joy. It was pain mixed with fear. I kept wondering, did Mama forgive me? Did she know I still loved her? When I reached the village, the air smelled of dust and memories. The old mango tree was still standing, but the compound looked new, almost too new. There was a bright yellow shop near the gate with a big signboard, Kenachukwu and Sons Enterprises. I didn't understand. I thought, maybe Keen has done well for himself. Then I saw him, my younger brother. He was wearing fine native clothes, greeting people like a king. Everyone called him Boss Keen. He smiled at me, hugged me tightly, and said, Brother, welcome home. His voice was sweet, but something in his eyes didn't feel right. The burial went smoothly. People came from far and near. They kept saying, your brother really took care of Mama before she died. At first, I smiled proudly. I thought, good boy, he did what I couldn't do from far away. But later that night, I started hearing small whispers, old women talking in corners. One said, if only Mama knew the truth. Another replied, that money we Obinna they send, and then they went quiet when they saw me. That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat in the dark looking at Mama's picture, wondering what they meant. Something didn't add up. If Kenny truly used the money I sent to take care of her, why did nobody ever tell me? Why didn't Mama ever send a message, even once? I looked around the house again. The new paint, the tiled floor, the television, the new shop. Everything looked too rich, too new, too sudden. For the first time, I started to feel it deep in my chest, that maybe the truth I was about to find would not be a sweet one. And I was right. The morning after the burial, the compound was quiet. But it was not peace. It was that kind of silence that comes before a storm. I woke up early and went outside to sweep the compound, just the way Mama used to do. As I swept, I saw her chair under the mango tree, the one she used to sit on every evening. My chest became tight. I sat there and whispered, Mama, I'm home. But it doesn't feel like home anymore. Soon, people began to gather again. Some women came to help clean the dishes from the burial. Children ran about, shouting and playing. The smell of smoke and palm oil floated from the kitchen. Everything looked normal, but inside me, something was not right. By afternoon, Uncle Nyemeka, our eldest uncle, called for a family meeting. He said we needed to talk about Mama's property and how things would be shared. Everyone gathered inside the parlor. Me, Ken, our aunties, and some elders from the village. Kine sat beside Uncle, looking confident. He was wearing another fine cloth, white senator wear with red cap. He looked like a man who had never known suffering. He smiled at everyone, even me. I forced myself to smile back, but my heart was not smiling. Uncle cleared his throat. Now that Mama is gone, we must talk about her house, her land, and the little savings she left behind. But before that, if there is anything that needs to be said, let it be said now. The room went quiet. I was about to say something when one of our aunties, Mama Ifeoma, spoke. Before we talk about land, there is something Obinna needs to hear. Kine shifted in his seat. His smile disappeared. Mama Ifeoma looked at me, her eyes full of pity. My son, Do you know your mother used to cry every night because she thought you forgot her? She said she hadn't heard from you for many years. I frowned. But I sent money. Every month. I wrote letters too. Didn't Keen tell her? All eyes turned to Keen. His mouth opened, then closed again. Brother, he said softly, things were hard. Sometimes the money didn't reach. Sometimes I used it for Mama's hospital bills. Mama Ifeoma interrupted. Hospital bills? You mean you used his money to start that big business of yours? You told everyone you built it from nothing. My heart started pounding. Wait, what business? I asked. Keen swallowed hard. Brother, don't make it sound bad. I used part of your money to start my shop, but I was doing it for the family. I was helping Mama. I stood up slowly. So all those years, all the money I sent, you kept it? You made Mama believe I abandoned her? Keena looked away. It's not like that. I thought you would never come back. I just wanted to make something out of it. I didn't mean harm. I laughed, but it wasn't from joy. It was that kind of laughter that hides pain. You didn't mean harm? You let our mother die thinking her first son forgot her. You took my sweat, my years of suffering, and used it to buy fine clothes and cars. The room became silent. Nobody spoke again. Uncle Nameka coughed and said quietly, "We will continue this talk tomorrow. Let everybody go and rest." But nobody rested that night. The truth had started to open its mouth, and it was not going to close again. I sat in Mama's room, staring at her picture on the wall. My tears fell freely. "Mama," I whispered, "I didn't forget you. I swear." He lied to both of us. Outside, I heard Keen talking softly on the phone, saying, "He's beginning to know. I don't know what to do now." I closed my eyes. That was when I knew this was only the beginning. The real story was still hiding somewhere, and I was ready to drag it out into the light. The next morning came with a strange kind of quiet, the kind that makes you hear your own heartbeat. The roosters had crowed, the sun had climbed high, yet nobody in the compound seemed to move freely. Even the air felt heavy, as if the truth from yesterday was still hanging in it. I sat under the mango tree again, staring at Mama's grave. The red soil was still fresh. Beside me was the small black bag I brought from Italy, the same bag that carried every little thing I owned. My heart was still broken from the meeting. I couldn't believe Kini had done that to me. My own blood, my mother's last child. As I sat there, Mama Ifeoma came quietly and sat beside me. She didn't speak for a while. Then she sighed deeply and said, "Obinna, your mother was a good woman. She suffered silently. She used to tell me that her biggest pain was not hunger or sickness, but that you forgot her." I shook my head, tears filling my eyes. "Auntie, I never forgot her. I sent money. I wrote letters." She looked at me for a long moment, then said something that made my heart jump. "Those letters, I think I still have them." I turned to her sharply. "You have what?" She nodded slowly. "Your mother gave them to me some years ago. She said Keen never allowed her to open them. He would collect them from the post office, but one day I begged him to leave one with me. I hid them, thinking one day you would come home." My hands started shaking. "Please, Auntie, bring them." She stood up and went into her room. After some minutes, she returned with a small nylon bag tied with rubber band. Inside were 3 letters, old, brown, and dusty. My name was written on each in my own handwriting. I held them like treasure. As I opened the first one, my chest grew heavy. The paper smelled like time and pain. My own words stared back at me. Open quote. "Mama, I miss you every day. I am saving small, so that one day I can come back and build you a better house. Don't listen to anybody who says I forgot you. I am trying." Close quote. By the time I finished reading, tears were running down my face. Mama Ifeoma was crying too. I whispered, "She never saw these." She nodded. Kane made sure of that. He told her you changed number, that you found one white woman and you forgot your family. She cried many nights, Obinna. She died believing you threw her away. I felt like my heart had been cut open. I stood up and walked into the compound, holding the letters tight. Keen was in front of the shop, talking to some boys. When he saw me, he smiled weakly. I didn't greet him. I just raised the letters. "You see these? Mama never read them. You hid them. You used my sweat to build your life and then made her hate me." His face changed. "Obinna, please, let's not do this outside." But I didn't care. People had already gathered. "You used my money. You took the letters. You lied to Mama till she died." Keen's voice shook. "I was trying to help. You were gone. You left us to suffer. I left to make a better life for all of us, I shouted back, and you turned my struggle into your success. He stepped closer, his eyes wet. I was afraid, brother. I thought you'd never return. I thought Mama needed someone to look strong. I didn't know it would go this far. I looked at him, and for a moment I saw the small boy who used to follow me everywhere when we were children. The boy I used to buy biscuits for. But that boy was gone. The crowd murmured. Somebody whispered, "So it's true. Kine used Obinna's money." I turned to walk away. I'm done talking. The elders will hear this. That night, I didn't sleep. I placed the letters under my pillow and stared at the ceiling till morning. Mama was gone, but her truth was now awake. And I promised myself I would not let her die in silence again. The next morning, the sun rose like fire behind the palm trees. The air was tense, like something big was about to happen. Word had already spread through the village. Obinna has returned. He said Keen used his name and money. The elders will sit today. By noon, the compound was full. Aunties, uncles, cousins, even neighbors who had no business there, all came to watch. The family council was sitting in front of Papa's old house, the one that still carried his carved walking stick nailed to the wall. Papa's elder brother, Pa Nadozi, was the head of the meeting. He sat on a low wooden chair, fanning himself slowly with a hand fan made from palm fronds. He cleared his throat and said, "We are here because peace has left the house of my late brother in Kemakonam. Let both sons speak their truth." The place went silent. You could hear goats bleating somewhere far away. I stood up first. My voice trembled, but I spoke anyway. I went abroad 25 years ago. Life there was not easy. I worked in kitchens, cleaned toilets, even slept in cold streets sometimes. But I never forgot my family. Every month, I sent money home through people I trusted, all to my brother, Ken. I wrote letters to Mama. I called many times, but never reached her. I thought she was angry with me. Not knowing my brother was the one blocking everything. Gasps filled the air. The elders murmured among themselves. Then I lifted the nylon bag that held the old letters. These were my words to Mama. She never saw them. Auntie Afeoma kept them safe. Mama died believing I abandoned her. Pa Nadozi nodded slowly. Kine, what do you have to say?" Kine stood up, dressed neatly in a white shirt, his gold wristwatch flashing under the sun. He looked at the crowd, the same people who respected him as a successful businessman. His hands trembled slightly. He said, "Everything he said is not a lie. Yes, I received the money. Yes, I used his name to build my business. But I did it to protect the family. Mama was sick, the roof was leaking, and people mocked us, saying her first son had forgotten home. I only wanted her to feel proud again. I didn't know he would ever come back." "Protect the family?" I cut in. "You bought land, cars, even sent your children to private school, all with my sweat." Keen's voice cracked. "I didn't mean to hurt you, Obinna. I was young and scared. I wanted respect." The crowd started murmuring louder. One old woman shouted, "Respect built on lies never lasts." Pa Nadozi raised his hand, and everyone went quiet. The only sound left was the slow buzz of flies circling the food remains from the funeral. He looked at both of us, me and Keen, then sighed deeply. "Two brothers," he said. "Same blood, same mother. Yet look how greed and pride have turned you into strangers." Nobody moved. Even the little children that had been playing sand behind the house were now peeping through the fence, watching. Pa continued, "When a man works and sends money home, that money is his sweat. If another person uses it without truth, that is not help. That is betrayal. Kine, you may have meant well, but what you did was wrong before God and man." Kine dropped his head. His shoulders started shaking, but he said nothing. The old man turned to me. "Obinna, you have every right to be angry, but your mother is gone now, and anger cannot bring her back. The question is, what kind of man do you want to be now that the truth has come out?" I didn't answer immediately. My chest felt tight. I could see Mama's face in my mind, the way she used to smile when I was small, the way she used to say, "Don't let anger eat your joy, my son." The elders whispered among themselves for some minutes. Then Pa Nadozi cleared his throat again and spoke the family judgment. "The house and land of your late father will return to you, Obinna, the first son. But Keen will keep his shop and business, since it has already grown roots. However, he must confess before the community and tell everyone the truth, that his wealth began with your sweat. That way, your mother's name can rest." There was silence. Everyone looked at Keen. He stood slowly, tears in his eyes. His voice shook as he said, "I am sorry, Obinna. I am sorry to everyone. I was foolish. I thought I was helping the family, but I was really helping myself. I made Mama die thinking her son forgot her. Please forgive me." The whole compound went quiet. I felt my own eyes burning. I wanted to hate him, but something inside me just broke. Maybe it was the years I lost abroad. Maybe it was the pain of seeing my mother buried without knowing the truth. I walked up to him. "Kini," I said softly, "you didn't just take my money. You took my peace. But you're still my brother. Let's not bury truth with Mama." He fell to his knees and hugged my legs, crying. I lifted him up. The elders nodded. Some women started clapping slowly. Others wiped their eyes. The meeting ended. People began to leave in small groups, talking quietly. The sky was turning orange, and the wind carried the smell of dust and roasted corn. That evening, I sat alone under the mango tree, reading one of my old letters out loud. The ink had faded, but the words were still mine, full of love, full of hope. Kane came and sat beside me quietly. We didn't speak for a long time. Then he said, "I'll rebuild the old house, brother. I'll paint it in Mama's favorite color." I nodded. "Do it well. Let her spirit find peace." The crickets started singing. The moon came out slowly, bright and calm. I looked up at the sky and whispered, "Mama, your sons have made peace. You can rest now." And for the first time since I came back home, I felt light again. Like the burden I carried for 25 years had finally dropped from my shoulders. That night, as the wind blew softly through the trees, I knew that though lies can live long, truth will always find its way home.